Hello, hello. Welcome to another week. How's your week been? My week has been really awesome, but really busy. Started a full-time job, so now my only time to go to the library is on the weekend. So this is going to be pretty short because now the only time that I have to read is when I get home on the weekends and like during my 30-minute lunch break. So I'm still continuing all the series that I talked about before. Still continuing Blackbird. It's just, I honestly feel like I'm like I'm an old lady who like stays home during the day and like watches their stories. That's how I feel like when I read Blackbird. Like it's so dramatic, like very just soap opera dramatic mixed with demons. It's so good. Yes, I'm a fan and I will continue to read it. Still continuing Vampire Night. I started reading the Black Butler manga, which is, I just can't get enough of that. Pretty sure I've talked about that in like every single video, but I mean that's kind of easy to do when I've only done like 4. This is the 4th one, so. But I did find some new stuff in, addition to collecting other volumes of mangas that I'm already reading. So the first one is, I don't think this is the first volume, but The Devil is a Part-Timer. This sounded really funny, and again, in with the whole theme of my obsession with like demons and shit, because I mean between Black Butler and Blue Exorcist and Blackbird, it's like, the fuck do you read about that doesn't have to do with Satan and his minions? Like, apparently nothing. But this is about the King of Hell and his captain, an admiral. They get pretty much defeated by this hero, and they fall to earth, and they have no power. So he starts off as like a fucking fry cook, and like that just sounds like such a great like idea for a story that the devil falls to earth, or not falls to earth, but like is kicked out of hell and like goes to earth with no powers and has to be like a fucking McDonald's worker. Like are you kidding me? Like I feel like fast food makes so much more sense now. And like the people that I encounter when I go there, I'm like, oh well, no wonder, And then this is Nightmare Inspector. So this was interesting because I haven't read this at all. It's just about this guy who eats nightmares for a price. So like you pay him a certain amount of money, and then they're like, okay, I have this one reoccurring nightmare where my dead fiance keeps coming back, and it's really fucking up my life. I can't move on. And so then the Nightmare Inspector will eat your nightmares, and yeah, there's nothing suspicious about that. What could go wrong? I mean, I feel like that's kind of like that Rick and Morty episode with the devil, where he just has this like curio shop full of free old shit, and people are like, oh yeah, what could possibly go wrong? But I'm not saying that this is gonna be like that. I'm just saying I feel like that. Like if I ever heard like an offer like, oh, have nightmares, I'll eat them for you, just give me $5. No, I'm all right, thanks. And then I started reading Death Note. I also started watching the anime on Netflix, and it's good. It's real good. I mean, I feel like Light Yagami. Like Light is kind of like, I think there really is a little light in all of us, just like there's a little Rain Okuma in all of us. But because I feel the same way. Like I feel frustrated as fuck. Like when you walk around and you see people who are doing illegal as fuck things, and they're getting ahead in life, or people who are just assholes, like criminal assholes, and nobody punishes them, like they don't go to jail, or if they go to jail they get off light, and it's frustrating. And Light actually is able to do something about it, and he does. The thing I find interesting that I kind of can't wait to see how it goes is where I am at in the anime on Netflix, is that he's met Ryuk, the Shinigami, and Ryuk is pretty much explaining to him like, oh, this Death Note was dropped in the human world. This is the human world's Death Note now. Like, I can't take it back. but he told Light that since he's used it, he's not going to go to heaven or hell. So I think that means that Light's going to become a Shinigami too. I don't know. I think that that's going to be something that happens later. I'm predicting. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I'm right, and then I can be like, hey. But yeah, I think that Light's gonna die, and I think that Light's gonna ascend to being a Shinigami, and then just like wreak holy hell on the human world. But we'll see if the Shinigami's rules change, because you know, maybe you're not allowed to just write out random ass names, but we'll see. We'll see how his story unfolds. You know, right on. And then I picked up Deadman Wonderland, which this really reminds me of The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Not without like all of like the 80s camp, obviously, but like the sense that prison and punishment has been privatized, and you know, people make money off of it. And so pretty much this kid, his class gets massacred by this weird, creepy dude that's like in all red. I think they call him the Crimson Man. He just like pops into his classroom, slaughters everybody, and then chucks up the deuces and leaves. So the only kid left alive is him, and they charge him with murdering everybody, even though he like got shot. But then like when he goes to show his wound, it's gone. Like it's like he was never shot. So he's all fucked up, and they sentence him to death, even though he's only like 14. They're like, well, obviously we have to set an example. Like, we can't just let someone massacre an entire classroom and, you know, not give them the death penalty. So he gets the death penalty, and he's sentenced to the prison called Deadman Wonderland. And, you know, he gets off to a little rocky start because nobody really explains the rules to him. Nobody really explains, like, credits or, like, the candy that you have to take, and, you know, because there's a poison in their blood, and they have to take this medicine to, like, that's pretty much the antidote. And you do different chores to like get credits and get money and things like that. So it's pretty much like living in a mall, but you know what I mean? Like, it's a prison. Like, there's still like there's this one meathead bully dude who just is rude, and I really hope he gets his comeuppance. Like, he's just one of those where I'm like rooting against, like, can you slip on a shiv, sir? That would make this so much better. And then I picked up the first volume of Pandora Hearts. There was a lot of volumes of this at the library, and it kind of put me off, because I was kind of overwhelmed. I feel the same way whenever I look at fairy tale. Like, there's just so much to fucking read that I'm like, this is a really big commitment, and I'm not prepared to make it right now. But I'm like, Pandora Hearts. I feel like I've heard good things about this, so I picked up the first one, and I like read the back, and it doesn't really give anything away. Like, it just sounds like this kid was like coming of age, and then he's condemned for sin about which he knows nothing. He's thrown into the abyss, which is an eternal prison from which there is no escape. So very similar to Deadman Wonderland. Crimes that they don't commit, so then they're thrown to this place, and then they probably like fulfill their destiny and blah blah blah. So we'll see how this goes. I probably should read the back of things more, but sometimes honestly I pick up the cover and I'm like, there's no, you know, inappropriately drawn women where like their tits are bigger than their head, and you know, it's the back doesn't sound dumb. Like, these are the criteria that I look for in, you know, wanting to read manga. And then this one is the case study of Vanitas, or is it Juanita since it's Latin word? I don't know. The thing about Latin is that it's a dead language, so you can't really ever hear anybody say things. But this is like magical. Yeah, so this is magical. It's about humans versus vampires, and all centers around this book called the Book of Vanitas. That's what the story revolves around, and it's what it's called. So yeah, pretty much humans and vampires are trying to get their hands on this like one book that's, you know, can either be used to help them and like bring peace, or be used to completely, you know, tear the two asunder, as they say. It's my opinion of what is going on, which that reminds me of an actual adult fiction novel called The Discovery of Witches. It's a trilogy. I think it's called the All Souls trilogy, but that was a pretty good trilogy. It's about this historian named Diana, who's a witch, and she finds out, like, through a series of events that, you know, she's actually like a super badass powerful witch, and she meets this vampire, and shit just hits the fan from there. I mean, it's 3 books long. And they're not super hefty, like they're not Game of Thrones hefty, but they're not like short, you know, they're good sized books. It makes me sad because I read them on the Kindle, and I see them, whenever I see them on the shelf, I get so sad because the covers are so pretty. I'm never going to be able to have that on my bookshelf, but whatever. I'll be able to see when I look at them in the Kindle. And then in terms of anime, I picked up Darker Than Black, and I'm not gonna lie, watched a few episodes of this, don't really care about it, don't really like it, not invested. I don't know why. Some things capture me, some things don't. This is one of those things that just didn't. Not my thing. I don't know, if you think, if this is I'm assuming it's a manga, but if it is a manga and you think that it's better, let me know. I would be happy to read that. But yeah, the anime is not so good. It's like, I don't know, like the first episode, so much stuff happened, and I was like, am I supposed to care? Like, I only met you like 20 minutes ago. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it just didn't, it didn't make me care. I don't know how else to say that, except, you know, I understand that getting to know characters is just like getting to know people in real life, and it takes a little while before, you know, you warm up to them. But I gotta have something to like make me watch other episodes. And I watched 2, and then I was like, no, I don't even know anybody's names, and I feel like that's a good sign that if you're just not into this at all, it's like, if you can't remember at least one of the main characters' names, maybe put it down and then come back to it. But yeah, this is going back today, actually, so sayonara. Yeah, that was about it. That's all like the new stuff I got. I'm still continuing Fruits Basket, still continuing Akame ga Kill. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. I've been trying to find different ones. Like, I have like a big to read list, obviously, that continues to grow, but the library obviously has a very limited selection. But thankfully, now that I have a job, I can actually go to this thing called a bookstore and Amazon and buy them myself. Oh, I'm so excited. I'll be so excited for the first time I read a volume, and I'll be like, I don't have to return this. This is mine. So I'm really excited for that. I feel like the next series I want to start is called The Ancient Magus Bride. I've heard really great things about that, and I've seen really funny like excerpt panels of it on Tumblr, and I'm like, that's what I'm feeling towards. So have you read Ancient Magus Bride and you feel like sharing your opinion with me, I would love that. But yeah, other than that, today's Sunday, so it's the end of the weekend, but it's still the weekend, which is important to note. So I still have like the entire day left ahead of me to do absolutely fuck nothing, except go to the library and do laundry. So yeah, it's an adult kind of a Sunday, but I'm probably gonna get ice cream later. So that to like balance out the adult, you know, because why not? But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. You know, if you work Monday through Friday, or if you work today, I'm really sorry, work blues. Yeah, so I will see you guys next time.